Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned into the madness. The Jazzy Fizzle production. Savage, Sean Paul, I know she like me. I kinda dig it, so I did my thing for her. She joining with me. Now we getting groovy, hotter than jacuzzi. So shawty want to slow down. I see them other fellas, and I ain't hating. They try to do it like me, it ain't the same. Front to back, shorty, side to side, and lean with you with a soldier now. Cause you're so fly, girl. You should come to my crib. Yeah. Body go flip on you. You were here, I'm tripping, but you should be my girl. You should be my
Hey, it's your girl Nay coming to you with another episode of As Told by Nay the podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's talk about it. What's up, y'all? Happy Thursday. Hope everyone's having a great day thus far. It's me, your girl Nay, on another episode of As Told by Nay the podcast. Last episode of the month. I'm doing it from the comforts of my own home. Today has been a day. And so we're just going to relax. I'm going to have a great conversation with one of my good friends tonight. This ain't even about to feel like no show because this is how we talk to each other on the regular. So I'm just about to have a conversation with my girl, and I'm inviting y'all to be a part of it. I had her on here before, a couple of times before, but last time she was here, we wanted to discuss women, Black women in particular, but women in general, and just different things that we go through as women, right? And we didn't really get to dig into that conversation the way that we would have liked. So on this month, I've been doing the run it back stuff, so we definitely got to run that conversation back. So I'm going to go ahead and get her on here so we could dive right into this. What's up? You remember that song from back in the day? What's up? Ladies. Back. So if I had to give tonight's conversation a title, I will call it I Am. And I say that because I am a woman. I am strong. I am worthy. And all of that. We're going to get into all of that. When I say I am, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Strong. Like, that's the first one.
Strong. Okay. She is strong. We are strong. Here for it. So, just to piggyback off of what we were just talking about, I brought up to you about the fact that we were having this conversation the last time we were on about women just being undervalued, not protected, unappreciated, just all the negative things that you could think of. Yet on the other end of that, I truly believe like this is a man's world, And so as women, we play that supportive role where it's like, I'm going to uplift him. I'm going to be here for him. I'm proud of him. I celebrate him. Now, this could be your daddy, your brother, your cousin, your husband, your son, homeboy, co-worker, all of this. But when it comes to reciprocating that love, it don't happen that way. We see where women are paid less in the workforce, not acknowledged as leaders as much, not trusted to deal with things in a logical manner because we're so emotional. Or, we're just seen as inferior to men. And again, this is not all men. I'm generalizing, which I do a lot of because you can't put everybody in the same box, but it's a lot of people. And a lot of people see it this way. So, prime example, we're going to get into this. I put a post on Facebook just to kind of stir the pot like I normally do. And I'm going to pull a post up right here. can read it directly. Come on, boom. Okay, so the post said, man made car, man made a plane, man made a boat. What women did what? And so I said, man, woman made man, the end. Do you know how many men came on this and just literally like, nah, y'all ain't make me without us. Y'all needed my food. Y'all give us headaches. Y'all this, y'all that. And it's like, so then you have women defending women. Like, no, we're the nurturers. The baby wouldn't be able to become a baby without us being able to feed it and house it. Somebody literally said the women were just there for the baby to rest for 9 months.
Right, like that was like it's easy.
Right.
Let somebody rest on your pelvis and then tell me.
And somebody else was like, but we grow the baby. Like literally it comes in as a sperm and it becomes a child and it's birth. Well, it wouldn't have been able to become a child if we didn't have the semen, the sperm to give you.
You can put the semen in a petri dish and in an egg in a petri dish, but you need the woman's body to develop it. So.
And somebody else went on to say, okay, man-made car, man-made boat, man-made plane, all this stuff, right? But 9 times out of 10, there was a woman behind him that encouraged him to go for that dream, or probably gave him the fucking idea, and he made it become reality. And they was, oh, women try to discredit men all the time. We can't never have nothing. It just was a whole lot of back and forth in that post. And it just made my mindset about all of this even that much stronger. Like, society really has created this space where women are not seen as value. Like, we just here. It's our role. We're supposed to support. We're supposed to encourage. We're supposed to uplift. Like, that's what we're supposed to do. But we're not supposed to have our own ideas. We're not supposed to feel strong. We're not supposed to feel like we belong. And so when we were having that conversation about where this mindset comes from, you had made a really, really good point of, it starts at home, how you're raised. People plant them seeds. But I feel like it's even further, like, encouraged because that's society's mindset. And it's forced on people.
Now, I always play the devil's advocate. And I'm a really woman about all women's rights and stuff, right? Love it all. Okay. That's society, like that's the societal standard for women to be that way. Women outnumber men by a lot. Not a little bit, not by an inch, a hair, by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So societal wise, they're outnumbered. Why are these ideals still as strong as they are, and they're outnumbered?
That's a really good question, but that kind of goes into two
women that believe that sentiment. They believe it to their core. That men are superior than them, that men are stronger. That goes back to the seeds that I think been planted. My grandma was like, Grandma, I don't know what I want to be. She used to say, I can't wait till you just get married and have a husband and do stuff like that. Like, that was her greatest accomplishment for me. When she found out that I was married, she was like, oh my gosh, you just found out that
you've arrived.
What? And so, no. No.
But it's hard to get away from that because devil's advocate as well. When you look at African Americans and how people are seen to, or society portrays the minorities to be lazy, to be ungrateful, to not be as smart, not as capable, all these things, right? And everybody likes to say, the minority is not really the minority. The minority is actually the majority.
Mm-hmm.
But it's seen that way because why? The people in power, the people who make these norms
Mm-hmm.
are not the minority.
Mm-hmm.
How do you break away from that? You have a good group of people that understand this, and it's like, no, this is not true, but this is still the way that it's seen because this is what is being served. And I think that that goes back to, you know, women as well. A lot of people do believe the latter of that, you know, women are inferior, but there's a lot of us that don't. But it's hard to break free of that when that is what's always being put on us. You get what I'm saying?
I do get
That's just like, I can believe that I'm beautiful, right?
right.
Natural hair is great. If I go to a job and I'm like, my natural hair is great, but the people that does the hiring and firing is like, no, your hair is not great.
Mm-hmm.
I could be like, my hair is great and not take that job.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to the next job and it's the same thing. And I go to the next job and it's the same thing.
And
And I go to the next job and it's the same time.
And so true. I believe true. But here's my thing. I just think that we channel that in the wrong. It's not the next job. It's not the next job. You know why? Okay, for instance, I'm going to take Mexicans for an example. Mexicans have it maybe worse, not worse. I don't know. They're a minority. They're hated. You know. But yet, collectively, these people have some way found out how to ignore all that bullshit and really come in a way where they build in churches, schools, grocery stores, their own apartment complexes. They don't even speak the language, and they start in this. You know what I'm saying? So that has to make you wonder, how is that minority group of people that have had the same, if not, you know, different, if not the same struggle as another minority group of people? It's just because of the way, like, they, like, okay, maybe when they come to the job, you don't get the job because you don't speak English or because you're Mexican or something, but they don't just go to the next job knowing that they're going to go get the same answer. Most likely, they doing, oh, I just went over here. Y'all, you know what? Let's save this money. Let's live together. Let's do this. And we'll build our own. Like, they literally have clinics and stuff. Like, it's insane the stuff that is going on. They are doing it in a large way. It may take longer, but they're doing it in a large way. So that's why, like, it's really like okay, and I don't want to call it the victim syndrome because it's not. Racism and all that, women rights, all that is a real thing. There are real life barriers there. Those I don't know how to emphasize not taking away from that, but also acknowledging that there are minority groups like Mexicans that are really doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's doing that. They not especially the Mexican women. The women aren't letting these jobs kick them out, and they forever lost in the sauce. And they have generations of they're coming over here with nothing, no English, no nothing, and they're taking whatever they think is said about them and ignoring it. Like, they straight ignoring it. Like, I don't care. So it's like, that is what I'm trying. Like, okay, your hair nappy, people don't like you, but what besides move to the next no are we gonna do? Are you gonna do? You have to somewhere believe that about yourself, that you are undervalued, that you are not a good person, or something that makes you continue to a cycle that is no means to an end. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, when I talk about that, is like, I get our struggle, but I also see a other group of people who struggle just as bad, and have more, you know, language barriers, no papers. Like, how these people coming over here with no papers and owning hotels, opening gyms, have a whole housing development? Like, what are these people doing? Not even that. My husband is he Haitian, but Haitian people come over here, his whole family, like, they own houses, they doing stuff, but the same people that I went to school with, and, you know, they have this idea, black men don't want to help us up, women, they don't, you know, they don't, men don't help women and this, but the Haitian women, they work hard, like, to get whatever they need, despite them being called whatever they being called or whatever. Like, his mom, for example, his mom owned a house. She worked super, super hard. And those are true struggles, but her life doesn't reflect, oh, she's a minority, oh, she's Haitian, or, she don't even speak the language that well, but she excels. And I know this to be true because this lady, in the 16 years that I've been dating my husband, has brought families from Haiti, and these people are thriving.
Right.
RNs, owning houses, the women. And you know what the women are doing? They bringing their husbands from Africa and Haiti and putting them in positions, and they winning collectively. And so, like, I get it, but, like, I don't know. And I used to be the same way, but it's not clicking to me in a way where it's like, woe is me.
No, and that's not what I'm saying at all.
No, I know. And I know we was taught, like, I know that's not what you're saying, but I think people just get this message. Like, people see that post that you put and be like, damn, these men, this is why it's hard. Okay, it is, but, like, where do we get to a point where that shit don't even matter? Because that is not, it can't be true. You could say all you want to, women are ineffective, but I done showed you that I don't even have to show you. Like, this conversation is non-existent because what you say has it's not imposed on me or reflective of me as a woman at all. But women get in that post, and there are people that see it and then they really, like, draw back because they feel, dang, like, can't catch a break. These men. And so how do we have conversations like this without women feeling, I don't want to say permission, but how we have these conversations without women feeling like, I'm so sick of these men. This is the truth. They always down bashing them. And without being so hard and independent as a woman that we don't need a man, how do we bridge that gap and do what needs to be done? Because, like, I'm sure in these countries, these Haitian ladies were, the men was on the top, but in America, they had to come and do a job. And now it's the strong women, and now the men done came, and now they just smooth.
So it's the mindset of the men in this society. But that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, when you look at those posts and you see how they come at it, it's not a woe as me thing more so than it is, it's annoying. Where it's like, you're absolutely correct. I have shown that I'm a great person. I'm strong. I'm this, I'm that. Nothing that you say reflects me, my mother, my grandmother, my aunt, none of those folks. Women are winning, but that is not the dialogue. That's just like Black people. So when we look at the whole, because that's the idea.
Conversation to it. Like, if we're winning, you know that, I know that, we don't care. But why? Like, why does
because when that is the conversation that's being had, the acceptance is not there. Yeah, we winning, but just like you just said, it needs to be a collective thing. It needs to be a unity. There needs to be that balance. There needs to be the understanding that I'm winning, you winning, but we still have to come together. We need each other. Men feel like they don't because women, this is your role. This is what you're supposed to do. Like, you don't get no brownies for being X, Y, and Z. At the end of the day, you need me. I don't need you. Which then will make women like, I don't need you. I'm going to show you I don't need you. That's where the whole idea of the independent woman came from. But it's like, how do we exactly bridge that gap when you have society force feeding us that men are here, women are here? I don't think that that's naturally a part of our culture, but it's something that has been taught and over the years have stuck. So because we want to fit in these different constructs.
So my question to you is, how does that societal construct work against us? Just us? Like, how is it working just against us? Like I said, the Haitians.
It's not though.
How are they able to bypass that? But, like, that's a real thing in our community where there's no progress because these men, like, I sell houses all the time. I rarely see any of the men that are going to get the houses. It's usually the women. And so what is that?
You mean as far as women buying houses?
No. Like, I would say, like, they're the leaders, so that makes them independent. So I was saying, but how in other cultures, if these are still America's societal norms that the women is here, how are other cultures, other other women from other cultures not having this problem.
So it's funny that you say that. Here's the dialogue that I need people to have and understand that it's a real thing. People try to shy away from the whole history of what America is, right? European worldviews has the patriarch at the top. The man is the leader. His wife is not equal to him. She's a supportive role. African Americans were brought over here during slavery. We don't know what our culture is. We are the only people here that don't have ties to home. We don't know exactly where we came from, what language we're supposed to speak, what spirituality we follow, how we cook, how we dress. All of this is European views. We're taught. So you have somebody born and raised in Mexico, somebody born and raised in Haiti, come to America, they still have the Haitian and their Mexican heritage. So coming here still looks like home. They're just here. They don't conform like that because that's not what they know. That's not what their heritage is. That's not what they were taught. They bring home here. If you go to, like, I have a lot of Mexican, I have a lot of friends from a lot of different walks of life. They live in their homes like they did at home. Their kids go to school, they learn English, they kind of, but home is still, they still speak their language, they still cook their food, they still understand what holidays and all of those things look like. So when it comes to American culture, most times you got the parents in the house that are making sure that the children stay grounded in what was. We don't have that. We go off of what has been the lineage of African American culture. And it's kind of like the Mexicans, okay, I hear you talking, and this is a real thing. People still have these stereotypes about Mexicans, but they thrive because their culture stands strong. This is what this means to us. Jamaicans, other nationalities that come here. But for us, we're trying to fit in with the construct that brought us here. And this is what makes sense to us, because this is what has been taught over the years. That's just kind of like, any imaging or anything, somebody says something to you, and you cannot believe that it's true about you, but that doesn't change that that's how society views it. And you can go against it, and you can walk in your skin, and you can feel like this, that, and the third, but it's a whole bunch of people that's still going to say, no, your hair nappy, that's not professional. And how do you get out of that when people around you believe that as well, because that's what they've been taught? So you have these prime example. What's the young lady name that just did the running thing, and now all of this stuff is the running thing, the track star, I'm sorry. And everybody's like, oh, she's too manly. Oh, she ghetto. She got the colored hair and the long nails. That's not a representation of why. Because that's what society has deemed as inappropriate. That's not what beauty looks like. That girl pretty, but because she's muscular, oh, she's like a man. They said the same thing about Serena. And it's like, where did that ideal come from? Why have we adopted it? And Serena's very sure in herself that she walks strong in who she is, but that does not change the dialogue.
True. But those people are, I'm talking on level, because she got that her whole life. Serena got that her whole life. She was dark and stuff like that. That was her. But Serena is exactly what I'm talking about. She's the 1% of us that go on despite nappy hair, strong, manly, black women ain't gonna be nobody type that made it. So that goes back to how do we get that mindset collectively, that no matter if we ugly, no matter if we're homemakers or mothers or something, we still move forward and just don't stop in that, because many of us stop before the Serena and those, Gabby Douglas, how they talked about her. But, it's too late for her to even care. She's the Olympic. I mean, not that it don't bother them, but they did what they needed to do. It don't matter about what you say. I have to be a representation of what my culture can be so that we can get out of this mindset, this construct that we don't do other things but lay on our backs and have babies. Serena and Gabby Douglas and those people are the few representations of what I'm speaking on, as in no matter the men saying you can't do this, it's when we have to collectively be the Serena and the Gabby Douglases so that our babies, we don't have to explain what the white man said or what the men said, period, because our babies see us winning. So the brain gravitates more to what people see than what they say. Okay, I may be on my back homewrecker slave from Africa, something, but all my black people winning. All of them look like Serena, Gabby, Tiger Woods, and such and such. Not, that's just Beyonce on BET that we see. Oh, there's one Tyler Perry. Oh, there's one Oprah. Oh, matter of fact, Obama made it. Great. That's too sporadic. But if they start seeing people in their communities not give a crap collectively like Serena and them, then I think that will just be, but I think we get stopped before that because a lot of people really fall into those stereotypes. Or not even stereotypes. People really fall into that and believe what our, slave owners said about us. And it's really hard. My grandma, they didn't mean to fall into that. But, after years and years of being taught that, you just fall into the, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough. Oh, this is what I am supposed to do because every black person listened to Master. Every black person don't know how to read. That's what Master said. We're not supposed to do that. So there's more of people following that, that push from where we came from than saying like, okay, I get it. This is true. It happens. But okay, how can I reach one, teach one with my brother and sister so that most women or most black women or most black men can see the representation of the beauty in this and not us black people see the girl too and call her ghetto too because that's what Master says she's supposed to be, when it should be like, well, any girl that can run track need to get in there with her long nails and long eyelashes and do it, and then it becomes the norm because there's more people doing it. But there's only, for every Gabby Douglas, there's 500 gems on crack on the corner or, that kind of stuff. And, I get there's systematic racism and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just saying, while we free and can do stuff, like I just think it needs to be more representation of those people make it than those women that's giving up and kind of feeding into what they tried to make us become.
And I kind of want to raise the conversation to the people that tune into my show past just what we're talking about, because I feel like it's a good group of women that do stand strong and they're business owners and they're being that representation of their communities. They're teaching the kids, they're giving back. This movement is happening. But it's such a divide still when it comes to women trying to stand up and be this and be that. And the understanding is that we need that support from our counterparts. It's not happening. And that also stems back to deeply rooted. It's been that way. There has always been that divide. And that was the point. So when you have women that are making this movement and we're doing this and we're making waves and they get labeled as problematic. And although we don't believe we're problematic.
So do you think the women, yeah, exactly. The women don't think that they're problematic. So you think it's the women. Check this out. Okay. So the post goes up. It says, man do this, man do this. The women came on and said, oh, we hold babies. We have babies.
Or I put the post up and my caption said, man, we made man. Here come the men telling me why that's not important, why that's not enough, y'all didn't do it by yourself. So now as women, we feel like,
wait a minute.
Why are you undermining who I am as a woman?
Okay, So maybe it's just that. Maybe they just don't understand the real buildup. So I think because when we have these conversations with our women, okay, so the post goes up, it's the men that's like, nah, 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 nah. We're defensive. Yeah, because of what they post. So I'm saying like maybe if that's how we feeling as women, maybe our men just really don't understand, instead of it being a battle, power struggle, it may be a teaching moment. Like maybe we need to teach that, this is really what this is supposed to is. Like, I ain't taking none for you, my brother, we do that, but I ain't taking none for you, brother. But let me show you how powerful you are in this, and this. And then it doesn't leave room when we reach back there because we just want to prove that we're good enough. Like, we already good. I don't think I need to prove to any more men that I'm good enough or that I can have their babies or something. But what I do need them to know is how to treat me and how to understand where I come from. So I'm not interested in arguing with a dude about something I already know is me. I already know I can hold babies. I know how long it takes. I know how hard. So now I'm not in a defensive mode. What I'm telling you is, okay, brother, that's cool. That's how you feel about women. Let me tell you something that you do good. But y'all powerful though. I couldn't do it without you, my brother. Okay, pipe down, but I couldn't do it without you. And then it creates a dialogue of like togetherness. Like, oh, this sister not defensive. She not in her independent mode. She in her, hold on, brother, I see you too. Yeah, I do hold a baby. But you know what? Them strong hands, I be needing them when that baby be pushing down. And then it creates a sensitive moment. So I think if women stop having, and I'm not saying we can't take all the blame and we can't take all the fixing, but I'm just saying we be so defensive when men are being at us, but they haven't been taught. They don't know. They ain't been taught how to treat us. They, like you said, they've been divided from us. They don't understand really the value of life as it relates to a woman developing when we talk about sex or whatever it is. So I think those are teachable moments because I just think them niggas don't know all the time.
And I agree with you 100%. But what happens when we keep doing that and they still saying the same thing? We're trying to teach them and they're not learning. Because this kind of goes back to the whole...
Bring it to the Bible. Then he just want to be a fool. And you shouldn't... Ain't no more time wasted on them fools.
But what happens when the fool is the collective? That's what I'm saying. Like, there's people who came on that post that I'm like... Because I know they married. They have children, daughters. And your mindset is really that the woman is less than... Like,
how many men commented on that post, you think? Give me a number.
It was 37 posts. I would say 19 was men. The rest were women kind of like, and they weren't aggressive. A couple of women was like, okay. Like they would comment to the guys like, okay. Other women was, a couple of them was explaining like, okay, this is what birth looks like. Because immediately it went to attacking, okay, y'all birthed the man, but that's nothing. Because we gave y'all the seed. All the baby did was rest it. Like taking away from the strength that is a woman giving birth to a child. And so I look at that across the board though, because when you take it to race, this whole thing that came about when there was that divide of Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter, and having to explain why that's not a thing. And the fact that, the fact that we have to say Black Lives Matter is because there's the understanding that they don't. It kind of is the same when it comes to man versus woman, because it's like, we know who we are. We know what we contribute to society. We know the strength of a woman because we're a woman. But coming from the other end of that, they don't see it that way because it's never been that way. Does that make sense? So like when you say somebody's like trying to teach other cultures why Black Lives Matter is a thing, why this is important, they've never been taught. They don't understand. This has been the what am I trying to say? The climate of what race is in America, right?
Right.
This is also the climate that is gender roles in America. That the men are here, the women are here. And trying to change that dialogue is very tough.
Right, but
And I feel
what
like
I'm trying to say, like in the okay, so I just didn't want to lose the point because when you were saying like gender roles, so that's exactly what I'm saying. Most black men, um, most black men don't know how to love a woman. They wasn't taught. Most black men say they ain't nothing. They need to hang on to, just like the people at the top that started this slavery and stuff. They need to hang on to their majority. They need to hang on to the ideas that they're important, because most of them, most black men that I know, all of them, never got love, attention, never was really important in anything to their parents other than, football or sports or something like that. So like I just can see how like they just want to hang on to some kind of the macho syndrome, like, yeah, I'm this man. But I just think they really just have, they don't know how to love. They don't know how to let that go, especially when it comes into the dynamic. They don't know how to love a woman other than their mama most of the time, so they don't know how to be nice to you. What man, I mean, I got uncles, actually no, I don't have no good uncles, like I maybe know one uncle that was good to his wife, and I don't think not because he didn't love her, but who taught him how to really love a woman and appreciate a woman other than his mother. That's why you got mama's boys, um because they just don't know how to be in a relationship or look at a woman anything then besides how they look at their mom. And they low-key hate women who bow down because they hated how their mom had to bow down to men. Like, they watch their mom work hard and stuff, and they don't know how to cut that off and channel that into good energy with a woman. So they low-key despise women in a way that it hurts them to watch their mom be single and be abused and neglected by men. They hate the very thought of it, that they end up becoming that person. And so I just think they just, I don't think it's our job to teach them how to do it, but I think, I don't know how, I just don't know the solution, how we navigate to when these conversations happen, not giving those people that, don't want to love female. You can't do something about something. Like, if you don't want to love, then this is a conversation. Then you don't even need to be on the post. Clearly I see you don't, like women or something, but I just think a lot of that energy come back to the woman, and that's what hurts for me. Not so much for them, but because there's a lot of women that take on that energy after seeing posts like that.
Facts.
And I just wish that they just know that that's not a reflection of them, that is solely a reflection of him and what he does, and you keep walking in your light and just try to not be bothered by that and continue to progress and find ways that both men and women can cohabit, be in the same space out of love and not competition.
Facts. And I feel what you're saying. I feel like that comes from kind of like the example I gave about the job. When you go from one job to the next job to the next job to the next job, and you still hearing the same thing, although it may not necessarily shift how you feel about you or your hair, natural hair is what the example was, it still put it in the back of your mind, like, what's the point? So I think a lot of women, not so much as take on the depreciation to feel like I am less than, but it's just like, why try to keep trying to educate people? Why keep trying to prove that, I'm going to do my thing, but it's just like, where do we go from here type of thing? The dialogue never changes because you have women that are either rah, 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 and nobody's taking them serious anyway. And then you have the other ones that do start to internalize that and act accordingly. Now they feel the same way. And then you have those women that's like, this is not worth the fight. I'm gonna do my thing over here. And that's that. But all of those are negative situations. And the dialogue doesn't change. Same with feeling like
it does, but it really, really, really does individually. How do you do it collectively? So conversations, awareness, like that, right on there, like it's just conversations and awareness, and putting more energy into the you still strong despite that post type thing. How do you feel about yourself? Putting more energy on that than what they say. Like, so what? They knuckleheads, boneheads, because it's like this. I used to have this conversation last year, especially like, what the man should pay in the house, just going back and forth with these. And I used to,
that's another one.
Yeah, it made me be like, what what works for me in my house works for me in my house, and be happy with whatever that is. My man will treat me like any of those men that are on that post, as it relate, as it relates to some of that stuff. Like, it's he not saying women make you, inadequate all the time or something like that. And when he does, then that's a conversation that needs to happen between those people in that household. And then, you may not break this generation, but now hopefully my kids see like, oh, okay, well, when mommy was feeling bad because she was doing too much, I seen her talk to daddy and they was able to talk to him, and he went in there and did that. So now you put in ideas of how the family dynamic should work. And so, I think seeing those posts, like if I see those posts now, like I don't comment, I don't say nothing. I literally roll my eyes at both sides and be like, I hope that, the women are strong enough to be strong in who they are, but not so strong that they never want to let a man in, and they have this guard up because they feel like all men gonna be disrespectful and such and such. And then I roll my eyes at the guys because clearly he don't know what he's talking about because he ain't never had to hold a baby, and this just some old social media stuff. But that's why social media is kind of dangerous, because you don't know. And so the stuff on social media should be conversations like this that kind of are healthy on both sides.
Right. And that's why I try and make sure that I try to keep a level headed when certain conversations come up, because I'm very passionate about um, women's rights, women's ability to stand true in who they are. I'm really passionate about African American folks being able to stand true in who they are. But at the same time, it's like a teacher that's in the classroom and the kids are unruly. How many times you gotta tell them, hey guys, sit down, listen, this is important. Hey, I'm talking. Hey, check up right here. Before you be like, hey, sit down, be quiet, listen to me, because what I'm saying, you're going to need. It's like that frustration begins to build. And it's like, I'm a teacher at heart. And I love to reach one, teach one. Huh?
That was me. That was me.
Oh. I love to reach one, teach one. But it gets frustrating because sometimes you reach one, teach one, and they're not getting it. And then they're poisoning other people. And then they're saying different things. And then you're seeing how it's affecting, other people. And it's just like, this is not the point of this. This is not why I brought this to your attention. And it can be kind of disheartening, if I'm being honest about it. And just, I don't know, girl, we could have these conversations all day.
Right.
But it's just like the idea behind it is exactly what you said. How do we get on the same page collectively? Definitely by raising that awareness, but I don't know. I just feel like we've been talking about this for a long time, just like we've been talking about race for a long time. And we still gonna be talking about this for a long time.
It ain't going nowhere for a long time. But hopefully when our grandbabies and our kids get like way older, that it's a lot more, more cohesive space for men and women, black and white,
right?
All races. I don't think any of this will ever go away. People still going, it took 1,000 years for it to get this way. I'm sure it's going to take 5,000 to undo. But conversations like this, and individual households, and how we talk in front of our kids are definitely going to be the generational curse breakers. So.
Right. And it's crazy because it's like I be talking to my friends, and the understanding is there. Like I have a very great group of women in my life, from childhood to college, work colleagues, all those things. Well, we understand this and we get this. Mm-hmm. But the conversation.
Right. But it do.
It's heavy.
It do. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like it didn't get under my skin. Like, it really, really holds no weight with me now. Like, I don't feel no type of way about, those people. Of course, the opinions of my husband and my family. Mm-hmm. So if my husband was always talking sideways about women don't do nothing, then we may have like a bigger issue. But like, people think the way that they think. Like, I'm tired of trying to make white people believe that I'm good enough to do this. I'm tired of trying to make people think, it is what it is. So it's kind of like take it, leave it. I can't do nothing about what people think.
Right.
And we just drive ourselves crazy.
I think it just gets tough in the sense of, like for me, I'm not married. I don't have any children. But when I start to think about what that looks like, and then I look at what's out there and the mindset that society has proven to be acceptable, it's tough to even see myself in that role. And then I would never say that I'm one of those women that say, oh, I don't need no man, because I know that I need a man. I want that bond. I want that partnership. I want that balance, right? But what I don't want is somebody's son that believes that I'm less than him, that believes that I'm not supposed to have goals and ambitions that makes me problematic, or that because I have my own business and I want to, make money, whatever the case it is, that's an issue, or I'm too strong, or I'm too independent. What is that? Why can't you encourage me to be great like I encourage you to be great? Why can't we love on each other through whatever we got going on? Why does it have to be a you against me thing? And I see that a lot, especially because, like I said, when I posted that post, I saw people who I know are married, fathers of daughters, and it's like, is this the thing that you're going to be teaching your daughter?
Right.
But we're going to talk about it. I'm going to continue to bring these conversations to my platform because I feel like it needs to be had.
They do. I think they definitely be good. Like, it's needed. Like, and I like the diversity that comes to the conversation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to, like, we agree, but we all have, like, different perspectives. People need to see a woman who could potentially be bothered by that, and what that it may have on you. How you could be concerned about those comments that they made, and then another person that we see, approach. So I think with this show they got two different approaches or thought processes, perspectives, and so maybe they'll find a common ground from both of them, and then the conversation happens. So
right.
hopefully we did our part.
Right. I definitely would like to take this moment to just encourage any woman out there that feels less than or inferior due to comments made or being told that they aren't supposed to move up in their company or they're not good enough or whatever the case may be. Whether this stem from men, woman, the way you were raised, watching TV, whatever. Just stand true in who you are. Like, really believe what your vision, what you see for yourself, and go for it. Like, that validation thing is something serious. And I think it's very important for us to validate each other. And for me to push that to validate yourself, whatever that looks like. I don't think independent women are problematic. I think that that's a beautiful thing. What I do want to start doing more of is getting the discussion going and bringing that awareness of the collective unity. Because you made a great point. People from other cultures come over here, and that balance is on point. It's intact. They have the man and the woman working together for the community, and the community working together for the community. Getting to a place where we can do the same thing is like should be the common goal.
Right. And granted, just to go back to that real quick, granted, you were saying that, they come from, so they come here and live. But then, like, I think of it as like, okay, they do come, so they, they have their culture, they know who they are. But at the same thing, I think of it as this. like that's fresh slavery to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? They come over here, they immigrants in the cages and all that kind of stuff. So they experience fresh slavery, as in they're trying to be stripped of everything that they are. And then they have the discrimination of, us who are currently like, oh, Mexicans, oh, Haitians, they get this. So so to me, it's modern day slavery when they come over. So it's like, how do they beat all the things when they get here and still end up thriving in like 10, 15 years when they have fresh slavery right there?
Because that's their mindset from home. They come over here and they're stripped, but they have each other. They have their home. They have their heritage. Whereas we came over here in the beginning, I'm sure it was like that too. The slaves was definitely trying to rise up and stay true to who they were. But over time, they broke us down. They stripped us of that. They made it make sense to be divided. Because in this world, in this society, it's a dog eat dog. Every man for themselves. That was forced on us. And that's why we react the way that we do to these other cultures. Whereas they're coming over here like, no, the idea is this is a better way of life over here. We can come up over here. We can win over here. But I'm going to bring my people to come up with me too. It's still a collective effort. Whereas we just out here. It makes sense for us to be against each other because that's the way that we were trained to believe. And so when other people come over here, we try to be against them too. But they like, oh, okay. That ain't how that worked though. Girl, America, when I be seeing people wanting to come here, there's great opportunity, but it is a mess over here. It is a mess the way that just life is. It's sad. It's really sad. But any last words?
No, just ladies, take it with a grain of salt. Head up, do you fellas. We ain't that bad. We need you. We love you. We would like to do life with you. We can't do it without you. So we should just all, find you a little piece that love you back, that's willing to let your baby rest on her pelvic.
Okay.
And that's willing to let you put that little seed in there and just love on her and just naturally do what men and women are supposed to do. Because there's some things that women got that you need, and there's some things that you got that she needs, and they only work when they connected.
Literally. Everything in life has that masculine and feminine balance. Yep. Humans are the only ones that try to steer away from that. And it's crazy to me. I cannot believe I just did this whole show with this echo. I feel like I've been talking real slow.
But you did it good. You did it good. You couldn't even really tell.
My words been messing up because I'm hearing the feedback and I'm saying what I'm hearing. But I think I did good.
You did. I even feel like you had the headphones on.
That is funny. So yeah.
Thanks for having me, Nay.
Very good. Thanks for coming on. Great conversation. Hope that everybody else has a great rest of their night. Just a little recap. We were just kind of talking about women. Yeah, it's been an echo. Oh, y'all can hear it too. See, I was wondering if y'all could hear that or if it was just me. She couldn't hear it on her end. So I'm just like, this sounds really crazy, but I'm going to just try and thug it. Sorry. I don't know what was going on. We were sitting up here for about 10 minutes before the show started trying to figure out how to stop that from happening. But, such is life. Well, I thank y'all for sticking it out, even though it was the little feedback happening. Definitely going to continue having conversations like these, going to continue encouraging you guys to be a part of this dialogue. My mom always says, be the change you want to see. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring the conversations to you guys that I'm having with my friends that we feel like we can't get to a common ground about, so that we can figure this thing out collectively. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your night. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. It's been a long day for me, and I'm ready to just go to sleep. So, with that being said, this is concluding the June segment of Run It Back DJ. I had some really great guests come back. Come back and redo some things and some dialogue. It was great. Next month, whole new lineup, whole new category of shows, but all stuff that you guys are asking me to bring to my platform. So I'm going to continue to do that. Good night. Be easy. Meet me right back here next week, same time, Thursday, 8 p.m. for another conversation on That's Told by Nay. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's talk about it.